Hey, what's going on, YouTube? You know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you may be able to vaguely hear in the background some crickets and beetles chirping and doing their natural mating sounds, which is kind of ironic considering what this video is about. Now, let me say at the off start that this video and the introductory nor the pictures are in no way, shape, or form a defense of black women or just black females in general. Okay? Anybody who has heard Brian Solange on BitChute, on YouTube, on Black Avenger TV, on Patreon, on Gab TV, knows exactly what I think about these bimbos. That being said, I feel like I need to set the record straight about something. And I have mentioned it in several other videos, but I have not specifically dedicated a video. I don't believe I've specifically dedicated a video to addressing this topic. But I received an email earlier this morning when I was dead asleep, and it was from a brother, good brother. Not gonna name any names, but I've had a lot of different interactions with this brother. I consider him one of the few brothers on YouTube that I'm cool with, that I'm friends with, and he's a content creator, and he runs his channel and his other social media platforms kind of like a business. He was trying to get me involved with that recently, and not recently, but he's been trying to get me involved into the whole money making aspect of um, you know content creation and production. And I'm just not into it to the point where I think I could actually turn a serious enough buck to where I could produce living expenses. As a matter of fact, the largest amount of donation money that I received was a couple of months ago, when you brothers were generous enough to give me like $250, right around $250 in a single week in donations. I can make up to 10 times that much in a week, what I do for a living. On a slow week, I make at least 3 times that much. And not at all in any way, shape, or form to disrespect or belittle, the generosity that you brothers have shown and continue to show. But the point is, I can't make a living. I mean, he even told me what he makes a month. And, I don't know how each brother, everybody, finds their own way. They adapt to their environment. They figure out, how to survive and thrive. But I can't make it off of a salary of less than $2,000 a month. I just can't. So maybe there are people that can, but I'm not one of them. And I have greatly minimized my expenses over the course of the last year, trying to do the whole alternative living thing. But in this email that I received from this brother, it was talking about black women in the porn industry, and it was specifically addressing the whole issue of why black women are largely undesirable in the overall dating market. And, it mentioned, the typical things that you usually hear black men in this sector of YouTube talk about, black women with, they're obese, they have unattractive features, yada, yada, yada. And just the typical talking points that you hear coming from this sector of not only black male content creators, but black male supporters and commenters and viewers of our content. And it seems to be this generalized idea that the reason why black females are so detestable in mass as a collective is because they are physically unattractive. And while, of course, as I said, and I'll go into detail with this in a minute, this is not in any way, shape, or form a defense of black women. I have to contest this, and I have to challenge this claim, this idea that the reason why most men, both black men and non-black men, do not want to be bothered with the majority of black females is because they're physically unattractive. I have to vehemently disagree with that. Okay? I give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The female whose voice that you guys heard, that I played for you guys in a video, a couple of videos back that I did. I left this comment. You brothers had shared your disgust with being ear tortured by this female, and I had made it clear that the video that you guys heard was a heavily edited version of just 24 minutes of what I went through for 5 hours on that fucking flight. And by the way, I did cancel my trip to San Jose. I couldn't do it. It was what it was. This is a relatively small company. They're trying to get on the come up from, guys like me, making a name for themselves, people that are sole proprietors that already have a name for themselves, like myself. They're trying to make build a corporate reputation themselves by saying, see, look at us, we're very effective and all of that, when all they're doing is just piggybacking off of people who've already been in the business and in the industry. So I realize they really need me more than I need them. So fuck them. Okay. But the point is, let me read you guys what I commented, what I replied to one of the brothers in the comment section of that video, because I think this helps better drive home the point that I'm about to make. Actually, let me read you two comments. This first comment, where I was responding to brother G. Tharo McScrooge, after he had made a comment on that video. I said in response, yeah, try jackass of all trades. Funny thing is, she's not bad looking, but she was so fucking irritating, all I could focus on was trying to get away from her ASAP. You know how when you're around an attractive woman, your dick gets hard, imagining what it would be like to fuck her. My shit stayed soft all flight. And I'm talking in reference to the female that I was forced to do business with that was a rep of this company that I foolishly signed this contract with. Okay. And let me read you one more comment that I made here in response to another brother. I said, and this brother, he goes by the screen name That Brother Padat. And I responded to That Brother Padat by saying, it's funny you mentioned that I'm used to most black females shunning brothers having an attitude like she's too gold to be next to them right from the jump. This was the exact opposite. And as I said, she wasn't bad looking for a black blank, but to endure 5 hours of this, it wouldn't have even been worth it if she gave me some pussy. Okay. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that, look, I understand that the likes of, Tommy Sotomayor, and you know what? I'm glad I bring up Tommy. Tommy is, I recently saw a couple of his videos only because I was interested in what he had to say in regards to that shooting down in Jacksonville with that goofy ass white boy that got mad that he lost that Madden tournament. But Tommy is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When I say that I understand that there are certain brothers on YouTube and elsewhere that, as the likes of Sophia Nelson said, they run a cottage, they help fuel a cottage industry of black men that, feel that they have to bash the physical looks of black women in order to turn a profit, because there are black men, okay, that are honestly not attracted to black women. And I know some of you brothers have mentioned this, but then you have brothers that are attracted to black women, like Tommy, okay, and like some other brothers, including the one mentioned in this email, but they're running a business as well. See, they're not like me. See, my content is strictly my opinion, my thoughts, my perspective. As a matter of fact, y'all know when I'm having a bad day, I'll get on here and I'll talk for 15, 20 minutes and tell y'all about the bad day or the bad week that I've had, or the reason why I'm in a bad mood, or what's coming down the pipe. I don't give a fuck what you think. If that's what I want to put in my video, that's what I want to put in my video. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having a good day, good week, you'll know. If you don't like it, get the fuck off my show, change the channel, and go somewhere else. Unsubscribe. But that's because I'm not doing this for a living. I'm not doing this to turn a profit. Okay? There are brothers that they know that they have to appeal to their fan base. Okay? It's just like Richard Spencer, the alt-right guy. Okay? People were talking about, who's this black female in his, in the background in his video. Personally, I looked at it. I couldn't tell that it was a black female. I couldn't tell what the fuck it was, but people claimed it was a black female. I doubt it, but okay. Let's say it's a black female. Then that means that at the very least, he has a black maid. At the very worst, he's fucking some black chick. Okay? There was this white separatist, white supremacist, I forget his first name, but his last name was Terra Blanche in South Africa. Many moons ago, I think back in 2010, he was murdered by two black field hands that he hired to work on his farm. And white farmers constantly get murdered in Africa. I don't know what the comparison is. I don't know what the connection is between murder and white farmers, but they get fucked up in Africa all the time. And I asked the same question in both cases. What the fuck is a white separatist or supremacist in either one of these white men's cases doing with either a black employee or a black love interest or black fuck buddy? See, I know I haven't released that video yet, but there's a video that I'm going to release regarding that African slave child sex slave trade thing, where I go into detail explaining that, as in these cases, as in the case of Mr. Sotomayor, there is what is on the surface, and then there's what is swept just underneath the rug. And in the cases of a lot of these black males that talk about, oh, black females ain't this, black females ain't that, they're physically unappealing, this, that, and the other. What they're doing is they're showing you what's on the surface, because in the realm of, what they do for a living, they have to appeal to this fan base by saying, oh, black women are fat, they're obese, they're ugly, they're this, they're that, and that's why nobody's dating them. Okay. But in their personal lives, in reality, they don't feel that way exactly. That's not exactly how they feel. That's not exactly what they think. That's just what they're broadcasting to the world, like an actor in a movie. Why do actors in movies never get called out on the things that they do in movies? Like Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, or like that dude that played that racist cop in that movie Crash. Because they're acting a role. They're paid, they're hired to act as a certain character in a fictional role. It's understood that in most cases, at least, that's not exactly them. Those aren't their personal convictions. This is something that they're doing for a job, playing make-believe, pretending to be something or someone that they are not. Okay, that's their profession. And I noticed that a lot here on YouTube. And I'm not knocking what any brother does, for a living, or what he does to turn a buck. But it's a little irritating to me that, and I mentioned this on several different occasions. I'm not gonna, mention the brother in regards to the email, but just as Tommy Sotomayor as an example, it's irritating to me that these same brothers that talk about how nobody wants black women will constantly be found in bed or with black females over their houses, dating black females, fucking black females. Like I said, in bed or in the pool with black females. Why? Because they don't believe the shit that they're saying. Now, the one thing that greatly separates Brian Solange these days from a lot of other brothers, other than the fact that I don't really make a lot of money past, the few donations here and there that you guys are generous enough to give me. I don't make money off my videos. This is strictly a hobby. Is that I don't try to say things that I think people want to hear. I say things that I fucking feel. Okay? And what I feel is that as a heterosexual male, there are more physically attractive black females than there are unattractive black females that I've seen. Okay? Most of the black female, and maybe it's just because, I work and live in and around college towns. Most of the black females that I see are not fat and obese. There are a significant number of black females that are fat and obese, but in all fairness, it's just like I told y'all with the whole thing about the black woman sucking the Arab man's toes. I said there are many of you Negroes that will suck a white woman's toes. We all know this. There are plenty of black males that are obese. As a matter of fact, well, we ain't gonna go there, because that's gonna burn bridges with some people. So we're gonna leave that alone. But there are many white men that are obese. There are many white females that are obese. Okay, just like there are many attractive white women that are good looking, and there are many black women that are good looking. My personal preference is, as seen in some of these pictures, I don't like a woman with too much of anything. Okay, I don't like a woman with a great big ass like K. Michelle. I don't like a woman with like super thick ass lips. I don't like a woman with a unusually large head, a large stomach. I don't like, or I don't like a woman with really giant fucking titties. Okay. I personally believe in a woman with natural curves, soft features, an hourglass figure, preferably slender, but not, like anorexic skinny where she looks like bones. Nice firm breasts, a nice round booty, you know what I'm saying? Nice legs, pretty feet, cute face. That's the type of female that I am attracted to. It doesn't matter whether she's black, white, Hispanic, Arab, um, you know, Indian. It doesn't matter. Mixed, doesn't matter. That across the board. That is the type of female that I'm attracted to. Okay, I am not attracted to obese women. I'm not attracted to women that are physically unattractive. Okay, now I'm talking about me as a heterosexual male. Why do I bring my preference up? Because the woman that I was stuck on the flight with, as I said in those two comment sections, she wasn't like a dime piece, but she was a good looking chick. I mean, she wasn't bad looking at all by any stretch of the imagination. Okay? If she had to shut the fuck up, she actually wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been that bad of a fucking situation. But, the fact that she was just talking me damn near to death, talking me into a fucking coma, that was where the problem was represented. I think I told you guys before about this black female, one of those phone store customer service reps, that she was an obvious hood rat. She had a pink weave and a ponytail. And as soon as I saw her, I was rolling my eyes. Oh God, here we go. But she was physically attractive. She was slender, had a nice little figure. She had a little cute face. She was pleasant to be around. And if I had have been a simp, I could have easily fallen for her. And I think that, she was on that trick and trap type shit where, one of them females that get niggas caught up, and try to take everything that he has in his damn wallet, and before he know it, his dick ain't sucked and she's out the door. You know what I'm saying? But that's my point. The physical attraction of black women is not the reason. And I will, I'm not really into debating and arguing with Negroes, but I will challenge any Negro or anybody, period, who says this, that this is the reason why people don't like them as a collective. This is not the reason why. You have hood rats that are hideous looking, but you have hood rats that are very good looking. Okay? Let's just be honest. Let's be realistic about this. Okay? The reason why a majority of these females find themselves single and alone is because, number one, they make very, very, very poor choices in the males that they choose to date, be in relationships with, lay down with, procreate with. Okay? Number two, they have a narcissistic, egotistic attitude that their shit doesn't stink. Three, they have a very bad, pro-feminist, anti-masculine attitude that most of them get from being brought up in a highly, not only matriarchal home, but matriarchal controlled community of, bitter, older, crazier black females, that where they feel like they do not have to submit to a man. Okay. In most cases of black females, you can see the attitude right on their face without them saying anything. Okay. That is what is so unattractive about them, not their looks. This female that I was on the plane with, most black females that I see, believe it or not, most black females that I see actually look, and again, it could just be because I work and operate in and around a lot of college towns. A majority, not all, but a majority of the black females that I see these days are like the chicks that you see in these pictures. Okay? They are in my opinion, physically attractive. You have different color shades. You know, you got caramel, you know, you got milk chocolate, you got dark chocolate, you got yellow. But in my opinion, most black females that I see are physically doable, as some people would say. Okay, that's not what turns me off. As a matter of fact, nowadays my brain has adapted to the point where I have gotten so fed up with these bimbos that when I see a black female that looks physically attractive, I immediately just roll my eyes and just look the other way. I don't even make eye contact with her. I don't even make her think that I'm checking her out. I just look the other way because I automatically think that she's scum. Mentally, she's scum. Her body and her face may look good, but mentally, she's scum. Perfect example of this. That chick, what's her name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Paris Milan. She tries to hide her hatred and disdain for black men under the guise of being pro-black, but you can tell she's another one of those nasty attitude, pro-feminist, anti-masculine, black male haters club, bitter ex-swirling, crystalline Kerasin wannabe rejects that's just mad that she's not at the top of the heap of, women that are most desired and sought after. Okay. Another example, a light skin example. What was her name? Corinne Gaines. Y'all remember that crazy mixed race chick that claimed to be pro-black back in 2016? She got shot and killed in a shootout and standoff with the Baltimore police, SWAT. Now, she was with some dark-skinned brother. But, when you look at Corinne Gaines, she had a big head, but, most guys would say that she was a physically attractive woman. She was a physically attractive black female. But she was batshit crazy, okay? Most guys would have liked to have hit that. But then at what cost? It comes at what cost? You see what I'm saying? See, I have trained myself, no matter, not just black females, with a lot of these white bimbos too. I have trained myself not to do what a lot of men still, even men who know better, okay, like the likes of Mr. Sotomayor, still have not trained themselves to do, which is think with my brain before I think with my dick. This is why when I see females that look like the ones in these photos, or like the one that was talking my fucking ears off and making me seriously contemplate busting out one of the windows of that plane and jumping out of it, okay, I'm actually turned off by their looks, because I know what's 90% of the time what's behind those looks. Okay? People don't understand, and a lot of these females don't understand, which is why they find themselves single, bitter, and alone, including a lot of these young ones. You see them on Facebook all the time. The pretty ones I'm talking about. Always talking about, how some guy is cheating on them, how they can't keep a man, how, they such a loyal female, but these dudes won't never be loyal to them. Why are females as physically attractive as some of the ones that I'm showing you in these photos? Why are they having such a hard time keeping men? It's not because they're physically unattractive. They're obese, overweight, facially unfortunate. It's because of their fucked up mentality. Okay? Anybody will tell you. Hell, even Marilyn Monroe said that shit in her own way. Looks can only get you so fucking far. You got to have some personality. Period. Point blank, period. I told y'all, Elizabeth Taylor, that Hollywood bimbo from back in the 50s and 60s. Most men back then, she was what most men would consider physically attractive back then. In her prime, even now. physically attractive woman. It is what it is. Wouldn't matter whether she was white, black, or whatever. She got married and divorced 8 fucking times. 8 times. She couldn't keep one man in her bedroom in her household. I heard that she was so terrible whenever she would go on vacation or go somewhere for business, I guess for acting or whatever, and she had the money for it, that she would, when they would rent hotels, they would rent her and whatever man she was with, they would rent the entire hotel floor above them and the entire hotel floor below them and the entire hotel floor that they were on, just so nobody could hear them arguing and fighting. That's just how crazy she was. She was crazy. Okay? A lot of these women that are physically attractive, they're fucking crazy. They act like fucking wildebeests. And that's why a lot of men have the hit it and quit it, pump and dump attitude. I don't even have that. I don't want to deal with these females. I don't want to deal with them in any capacity because I feel like it's just not worth, even running after them to try to get between their legs, because what am I, learning from my last relationship, and even in my ex's case, some of you guys that were back then, y'all saw, she didn't really look like shit without it, but, prettied up. She wasn't bad looking. And, even in spite of her face, she had a very nice model type body. She did, long legs, nice hourglass figure. She was very tall. She could have been model material, but it was her fucked up attitude that fucked up our relationship and wasted 2 years of my fucking life. Okay? That's the reason why these females find themselves in the predicament that they find themselves in. It has absolutely nothing to do if we want to play this game that, okay, well, black women aren't as sought after in the porn industry, even though I've seen many of them. As a matter of fact, most porn now that involves black actors and actresses, male and female, is interracial. If we want to play that game, that it's because they're obese and they're unattractive, then how do you explain why most black porn is interracial now with these black actresses? There are black actresses now that won't even, they're like them hoes that was on Backpage.com when it was still up. They won't even touch a black male actor in porn. A majority of the black and if you don't believe me, you can go look this shit up yourself, which is in complete contradiction to that email that I received earlier today. Yeah, obviously they're not as in high demand as white female actresses, but it has nothing to do with their attraction level. It's because a majority of black females, quite literally, just like that female on the plane that I showed you guys, will not shut the fuck up. And they think that their shit don't stink, and they think that they're somehow special. They won't follow orders. They're not submissive. These are the reasons why they find themselves being, as a collective, less sought after, less desired. They're still desired, okay? Like I said, most black actresses that can, you won't see them with nothing but white dudes in the porn industry, okay? Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's because that's where the money is. But we all know where the black female's mind lays when it comes to, the black man and, interracial dating and all this swirling crap. So if people think that does not carry on over into the sex industry, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about, these escorts online or porn or stripping, you're crazy. Okay. But that's my point. Okay. There are plenty of non-black men that will still fuck them, that will still sleep with them. Okay. Because there are plenty of them that are physically attractive. But there's not as many men on anywhere near of a scale that will be in long-lasting relationships with them and certainly not marry them. Okay? And you have a lot of black females that have adapted to this whole baby daddy syndrome, baby mama syndrome, that realized, I even had a cousin of mine that, even said, she admitted that a lot of black women are not going to get married. So, you better find a nigga and hunker down, dig in. Because a lot of them ain't getting married. A lot of these black females don't even know what marriage is. I asked one girl that I was dating many moons ago, for y'all knew me, what she thought about marriage. She looked at me and shrugged her shoulders. She didn't know. It's funny, she seemed to have a fucking opinion on every fucking thing. But when I asked her what she thought about marriage, it was like I was speaking a foreign language. Because a lot of men are not going to marry these hoes. Because of their attitudes, because of their mentality. Every time I'm anywhere in close proximity to a black female, I immediately get turned off. Okay? Now, if she's physically attractive, I'll glance over. But as far as, really checking her out, I don't even want the female to know that, the heterosexual part of me, the little winky between my legs is thinking about standing up, looking at her. I don't even want her to know whether she would be interested in me or not. Because that's just how far I've separated myself psychologically from these bimbos. Because I know most of them ain't ish. And y'all do too. But yeah, I felt like I needed to set the record straight about all this crap about, black women being obese. I get tired of hearing that. Okay? Because that's not the reason why. See, the reason why I'm doing this is obviously not to defend them, but because I want black men to be on the right track to being honest. Because first, before you can be honest with a situation, any situation, before you can deal with and address that situation, the first thing you got to do is be honest with and deal with yourself. Okay? We have to be honest with ourselves. Okay? A majority of us are still physically attracted as heterosexual males, as in you see a female, in a tight skirt and heels walking down the street, you thinking about, what would happen in the bedroom if you could get between her legs. But at the same time, what you would have to go through, and that in a lot of cases, these bimbos, they won't give a guy like you that could actually provide for them to get your shit together the time of day. If you went after her, if you pursued her, it's 50-50. If you were able to get her number, what are the odds that you could actually get her into the bedroom? There's more of an opportunity for you to get her in the bedroom than there is for you to have a meaningful relationship with her. And there are guys out there, I used to be one of them, not anymore, that actually want more than just sex from a female. But again, at what cost? What crazy shit will you have to go through? What I went through in my last 2-year disaster ship? That's why a lot of black men are saying fuck these black females. We'll either, decamp to greener pastures, and go somewhere else, or, we'll just go MGTOW. Because a lot of men in general, but black men especially, are seeing more and more, these days, that it's simply not worth chasing skirts, chasing tail, chasing poon, whatever you want to call it. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you look, I forgot to mention this. If you look at black porn actresses that deal specifically with, interracial porn, like 90 to 99% of the porn they do is interracial. And believe it or not, that's a majority of black female porn actresses nowadays. You will see that most of them have that, real or fake, they have that Valley Girl accent, and they're feminine, or at least they present themselves as feminine on screen in the character roles that they play before, during, and after the action. Okay? They pass themselves off as, the typical Valley white girl that is, the blonde hair, blue eyed, slender, hourglass framed white female that most men, let's just face it, around the world are physically attracted to. And that's why they're able to get quality parts and maybe even get paid a little bit more. But anyway, like I said, I just felt like I had to address that whole situation. And now I've addressed it. I'm done. Talk to you later, guys.